And we are back here on the WHHI-TV Daily News. Alex Brown, who is, of course, Town Councilman and Mayor Pro-Tem, is here with me.
Good morning.
To give us our monthly update. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm seeing you this year. So we had a workshop last week.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to talk about. We're still talking about the 278 corridor because obviously the referendum failed in November.
Sure.
And so that has now kind of reopened the whole thing.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the workshop last week.
Sure,
and what came
absolutely.
Out of that.
First of all, I'm glad that we had the conversation out loud with the public there. First meeting since the referendum had failed. Now that referendum was a critical piece because the State Infrastructure Bank as well as SCDOT have put forth funding. There's a local match that came from a previous referendum, and obviously with inflation and add-ons to the bridge, that number escalated, and there was about, I'm going to estimate here, about $200 million shortfall.
Yeah, right.
That referendum would have given us a pot of money to go back to the state and say, hey, here's a new local match. Okay, so that is off of the table now, right? The voters have spoken loud and clear that they don't want an additional tax, right? So now we have to look at the current project and scale it back so that we can afford it with the pot of money that is available, okay? And many thanks to Senator Davis, who's been very influential in this whole ordeal. Right. He's come back with a proposal that he presented at our workshop on last week, basically to replace the eastbound bridges onto Hilton Head, okay? And the discussion about that potentially being 3 lanes with a breakdown lane, even potential reversible lane. But the bottom line is, based on some preliminary estimates from SCDOT, we can get that done with the money that's in the bank at the moment.
And that addresses the deficient part of the bridge.
Absolutely, and that's a very important piece that the first bridge as you're coming onto Hilton Head is deficient. SCDOT has said formally that if they were to do another test on that bridge, there could be some potential load capacity issues. Okay, so they could say to us, certain vehicles could not travel over that bridge, buses, heavy trucks, that sort of thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
that would
right.
really
So
put a kink in the works.
Absolutely. So that's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So we're very respectful to their March 31st deadline for us to move things along, because if they stay to their schedule, then the earliest they'll have shovels in the ground is probably 2027, right? And I know that's 2 years out, but in those 2 years, we do have potential risk with that bridge being in a position where we can't have certain vehicles going over it. That's scary.
That is scary, for sure. So we gotta get this wrapped.
Absolutely.
And so to that end, I know County Council is meeting next week.
Yes.
And then you are meeting the following week, and those are going to be discussions about this project.
Sure. So at our workshop last week, I was pleased to see many of the county council members there, including new chairwoman Howard, who had some very nice words to say about us moving forward in a partnership. So that was important.
Very
it was
important.
Good to see her there.
Yeah.
Good to see that we're going to be moving together expeditiously on this. They'll have a meeting on next week, the 21st. We are going to have another workshop on the 27th around this topic.
Yep.
And, all in the attempt to make sure we're having something move forward to the state before their deadline.
Absolutely. And of course, public is welcome to those meetings and to give their input. So also to that end, we're going to have a retreat, and we still are, but we're moving that date.
Absolutely. So we were going to have our annual planning retreat on February 5th and 6th, but because we're going to have all hands on deck now with the bridge project, we're going to have to move that planning session date, So more to come on that. We'll have the definite dates and times, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, and we'll put those back out.
Well, thank you, Alex, for being here, as always, to share about all the updates going on, and thank you for the work that you're doing, those boots on the ground, so we can get this bridge taken care of.
Absolutely.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment, so don't go away.